Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. My name is Cory.
And I'm John.
And in today's video, we are reviewing the brand new board game, Galactic Cruise. Let's get started. Alright, and like we said, in today's video, we are reviewing the brand new game, Galactic Cruise. We have played the game a few times now, so we wanted to go through kind of a quick, brief explanation of how to play the game and then our opinions. So, John, how does this game flow?
Yeah, pretty straightforward. What you are trying to accomplish is constructing some galactic cruisers, essentially, that you'll send off with tourists to different locations across the solar system. And you do that by using your workers to complete actions on the board, which you can see here, which involve, building sections of your ship, creating new ships, charting flights and gaining tourists. And then some of the other things you have are on your player board. You have like a control tower that you get bonuses from. You can upgrade things on the planets that you send people to, and you're just trying to get the most points. Pretty straightforward in a nutshell.
Yeah, and as it sounds, there is a lot going on in this game. This game is very heavy, but it is just simple worker placement. So at the heart of it, like John said, it's just worker placement. You have these different zones in the center of the map that you're sending to, and I wanted to talk about the component quality first in this game. I really like the icons, how easy everything is laid out. Everything is clean looking, so it's very easy to understand what you can do. It just comes down to like 100 different options you've got. Simply sending a worker to the board, doing an action, you get up to 2 actions you can do. These cogs in the center of the map will actually link different action spots together, so you can do multiple actions on your turn that way as well. And then it's all about getting those blueprints and sending visitors out into space. So very thematic. I wanted to touch on that as well. That's, I guess, my first pro for the game is that it really feels like you're sending the tourists out on the ship, sending them out to space. They're visiting different locations for victory points. So I think the theme really pours through well in this game. How about you?
I think they did a great job. I mean, your player board itself is, very straightforward of here's your workers, here's the places they can go. There's essentially, this building track, and you got your starships in the middle, and then you have them actually shown here that you're building up in silos, and very simple method of showing like how you travel through your flight path. You just basically move your pilot from space to space, and each one triggers something else along the cruise. Very thematic, very simple, like you said, with the iconography. It's really neat.
Yeah, and then even everything down from the theme down to like the food. You have to obviously support the people going on the cruise with food, the oxygen for the amount of segments you have in your ship, the fuel it takes to get up to certain destinations. So even the resources in this game really pours through. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're getting money for different things in this game. Advertisements, you're getting these advertisements to send out ads to the people to come onto your Galactic Cruise, and you're just trying to basically be the best corporation that can generate the most amount of points. People sending out people onto your cruise. So yeah, the theme really pours through well. Iconography is great. The look of the board is awesome as well. So yeah, those are a couple of the things I really like about the game right off the cuff. So John, what are some of the things you enjoyed?
Yeah, I think we already touched on this a little bit, talking about the theme and how the spaceships work. But I do really like, kind of the flow of the game. It's build a cruiser, kind of plan out and strategize based on the flight paths available and the tourists available, and then get that ship out, and then from there you really can take a hard turn and like figure out, okay, how do I want to build each of my ships to maximize efficiency between the different types of, tourist attractions or destinations, and really jump into that theme of like, okay, I need to either accommodate everyone, or do I really solidify like, I just want to help all the, orange tourists do what they want to do, and really look at those. I think the other thing I like with all that is, as you send people out on these cruises, the planets they visit, you can actually gain upgrades through that, which are at the top of the board here. Yeah. And some of those can be very powerful, either letting you build more ships, get rid of the bonuses on your control tower, gain extra reputation whenever you do something, and just other powerful abilities.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to mention, this is a slight con for me, but I could see a lot of other people enjoying it as a pro, is the game is very open. It's a very open-ended game. You can pretty much do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to, all the way down to from even the mechanic to bump other players' workers. If I wanted to go to John's spot here, I could bump him back to the board. He would actually get a benefit from that, essentially taking a coffee break action, and I would still get to do that action. So you're never really boxed out or blocked out from many locations on the board. You can pretty much get done what you want to get done, and that kind of leads to high scoring games as well. This game, you do score a lot of points. You score points for everything, but like John said too, the other pro to that is you can be very focused on one specific thing or a couple specific things, and your opponents could be kind of focusing on other things as well. And like we alluded to with the different types of travelers, you've got the adventurous travelers looking for a good adventure. Those are the orange guys. The greenish, blue, teal, that's family. And then the purple are more looking for entertainment and having a relaxing good time. So that pours into the theme as well. And there are a bunch of different avenues you can take depending on what you want to do for each game. So that kind of leads into my next big pro with the game, is that it does really feel different every time you play. And then also, I wanted to mention too, it could even feel more variable and different. We were playing on the basic side of the board for this last game, where all of the actions are pre-printed on the board. But for every other game, you could play on the advanced side, where each of the actions are randomly chosen for different spots. So I like the variability. It does feel different. You're going after a different strategy every time. Any other pros for you?
I kind of wrapped mine all into that first pro. There's just a lot of strategy involved in this, and I think a lot of avenues you can go, especially with the variability thrown in, that could just completely throw you off from the previous game you had played. And, that's a good thing, right? Variability is great and keeps the game fresh. So
yeah. Now kind of traveling into cons a little bit here. My biggest con with the game, when I first got it, I was excited to play it because obviously the theme is really cool. It's a very cool idea that hasn't been done before, and I don't mind heavier strategy games, but for me, I'm just going to kind of come back to, it does feel like a little bit too much going on for my taste. If it was a little bit more focused, a little bit tighter with the resources, a little bit tighter with the action spots, like you're actually fighting over different positions with your opponents, I think I would like it a little bit better. So the fact that it is so open and that you're just kind of getting points for everything, like I said, I think some people might enjoy that. But for me, I felt like for a heavier strategy game, I would have liked the strategy to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more head-to-head, a little bit more interactive with your other opponents. So that's my first con for the game. How about you?
Yeah, I think my only major con would be the length of this.
Yeah.
It does feel really grindy. Even at 2 players, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 hours minimum.
Yep.
Which isn't awful, but
with more players.
Yeah, with more players, that's probably going to stretch out. Theoretically, there's less progress points needed to advance the game, and with more players, those would fill it faster. But I feel like it'd get really grindy, and it's not like other games where you can kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like you can maybe shift strategies as quickly in this, because really, the path forward is get your ships out there, get points. You can't really just go and shift like, oh, this ship I have built isn't really working for me. Shift to a different strategy. That doesn't seem as feasible. It's
unless
more
you get specific cards that allow you to do it. But yeah.
Yep. It seems like you have to have your strategy, defined more up front versus mid to late game. And when you're playing something grindy like this, that may not be appealing to some folks.
Yeah, and that flows right into my next con as well, is every time we've played the game for the first hour and a half, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm exploring new options and doing different things, and I'm really invested in the game. But after about an hour and a half, it does feel kind of rinse and repeat. Mm-hmm. You are locked in, like John said, kind of locked into your strategy that you've built from the beginning. So the last, hour of the game or so, you're just kind of rinse and repeat to get the most amount of points. And I think,
that's the way I word it. You have your strategy, but now based on the way you built your ships, you're just optimizing how to get the max amount of points from that specific avenue you went. And if you chose a poor avenue, you're kind of just stuck, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like in many other games, I think Galactic Cruise could benefit from maybe an expansion that expedites it a little bit and just kind of has you with more starting resources or more starting things on the board, making it a little bit tighter, shorter game length, and more of a fight to the finish. Where in that hour and a half, hey, you better get done what you wanted to get done to get the most points or the game is over. This just feels like, yeah, by the end of it, how do I get another 50 points? How do I get the next 50 points? And it just gets a little bit too much. But yeah, for the most part, going into my final opinion of the game here, I do really enjoy it. I do want to explore it more. It's a good game. The mechanics are very solid. Everything is smooth playing. But like I said, it would benefit from it being a little bit more of a shorter game length. A little bit tighter play would definitely benefit for me as well. But I'm going to come in at a 7 out of 10 for my rating so far. I think it's a good game. It's solid. Could it benefit from an expansion or two? Yes. Do I want to keep playing it? Yeah, I would try it a couple more times, but it's definitely not one that I'm going to be wanting to throw on the table every game night, which is kind of a disappointment because I was hoping that this, for the price point too, I was hoping this would be that type of game. So that's where I'm coming in at a 7 out of 10. How about you?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think 7 out of 10 is very fair for this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just, yeah, that length and then that kind of almost grindy feeling after you're, an hour and a half, 2 hours in. Maybe we're doing something wrong, but it just feels like you're just so shoehorned into a strategy, and then you're just trying to expedite, getting ships sent out so you can get up on the progress track and essentially trigger end of game scoring. But yeah, I like components, presentation, theme, all really hit, and kind of the faux Euro-ness of it, where you can bump the workers, do what you want is... I don't know if that's a pro or a con for me, because I do really like trying to outwit folks and blocking them out, but I also do really hate when I get blocked out of being able to do what I want.
Yeah.
So there's some balance there that, it's probably good for a game like this to have a slight variation on that normal Euro play style.
Yeah, it definitely works. It works for the game, but like I said too, if it was a little bit tighter, like maybe you could go to the same action again as another player, but it would be more expensive for the second time through, or just something a little bit tighter. This is definitely a more open-ended game. So if you're into the very tight Euros, very tight on resources, tight on money, blocking people out, this is definitely not the game for you. But if you like it a little bit more open-ended, sending people out on your cruise and just having fun with the theme, I think that definitely sings through in this game a lot. So I will say that we've only played this game a few times at 2-player. We haven't played it at the higher player counts yet. Like we said, the time length is a little bit of a deterrent for that for us. But yeah, I would like to see this hit the table a couple more times with a higher player count to see if that tightens up the board a little bit. And I can't see that really happening too much, but we'll see how it plays differently. So until next time, you all have a great day and have fun gaming.